Hi, my name's Lois, and I just finished my degree in applied psychology, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about my experience of moving away from home. So, when I first moved out 3 years ago, I didn't move into halls of residence, I actually moved into a uni house, but I guess it's all the sort of same experience. So my mum dropped me off and she took me out for dinner in Brighton, which was really nice, which was also good because I was able to get a bit familiar with where my accommodation was in relation to the rest of the city, and the sort of things that were going on in the city. Um, and then she left, and I was there with my housemates. There was four of us in total, and we had a really good evening getting to know each other, which was nice. In terms of the experience as a whole, I really enjoyed cooking for myself at first, and I really enjoyed being independent, and I felt really grown up. And then the first weekend came along, and I decided that I wasn't going to go out to Freshers, and I wasn't going to go explore Brighton. I was just going to stay in and sort of, get to know sort of my house, and that sort of thing. But then two of the three people I was staying with actually went home. So I guess that was pretty lonely. And looking back on it, I kind of realised that I should have made more of an effort to talk to people in my lectures and join societies and clubs and put myself out there, because I could have potentially gone out with those people or met up with them, or I could have used that time a bit more to go and explore Brighton or even just sort of the local area. Um, and my mum didn't let me come home for the first month because she didn't want me to get into a bad habit of going home every weekend. She thought it would be better for my homesickness if I just stayed and overcame it. And I can honestly say that this did work really well, because the other housemates of mine that went home at the start of uni found it really difficult to settle in and stay, and ended up being quite homesick for kind of the first couple of months. Um, of university. So I would definitely say that if you can stay away from home for the first month, then it will honestly do you wonders. So in order to prepare for living away from home, my mum gave me a bit of a crash course in adulting, as she called it. So a couple of weeks before I went to university, I helped my mum cook, and I wrote down the recipes that we made together and that I really liked. So that was good. She also taught me about how to do the laundry, about sort of, you need to separate your clothes and do your whites on a colder wash, etc. And then she also taught me about how to take meter readings and how to sort of look through my bills and set up tax and things like that. And I also looked at the bin collection days for the area I was living in, and I wrote that down in my diary, which was good. Definitely really made me feel really adult knowing that I had to take the bins out on certain days. I also made a list of all the chores that would need to be done sort of weekly and monthly, so like bleaching the toilets and descaling the shower head. So yeah, I wrote that down so that I wouldn't forget to do them. Um, I guess in terms of moving to uni, my advice would be to take lots of homely things. So rather than just having a university bedroom, you have a bedroom that actually feels like yours. So I took a couple of comfortable cushions, some fairy lights, photo frames. I had a little cactus as well, which was really cute. And I got some new stationery and all that exciting thing all those things you get when you start school. So I had fun going to WH Smith's. And then when I actually moved into my room, it did really feel like I was living there rather than just sort of staying there. And I think that made moving away a lot easier because I actually felt like I belonged there rather than just being on holiday or something like that. So to summarise, I think my advice for moving away from home would be join lots of societies and talk to people, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Get familiar with the things that you have to do in order to run a house, such as cooking and what chores might need to be done. Make your university home a home away from home. I think that's really important. And my last piece of advice would be don't go home within the first month, so that it's easier to stay away from home in the long run. And it also makes your mum more likely to invite you back for a roast dinner on a Sunday. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful.